So Chris Hoy, great to meet you.
Thank you.
What do you think of our relatively new clock?
It's very high tech, yeah, it's impressive.
Might not quite do the trick for you in your cycling.
Well,
Thousandths of a
we work
second.
in thousands, so yeah, maybe not quite.
Right, we've got lots going on behind us, so we may have to raise our voices.
Yeah.
Maybe you could count down?
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Is it true, Sir Chris, that you have the biggest thighs in the world?
I don't think it's necessarily true. They are quite big, but then all the guys in the team, all the sprint cyclists have got big legs because it's your engine, it's what pushes you forward.
You could probably generate quite a lot of electricity.
I believe
Just from the thighs?
Yeah, I believe we kick out about 2,500 watts, so 2.5 kilowatts of power only for a very short period of time, but that would light up a light bulb. So.
Can you tell me, I'm sure lots of people would love to know, just what is it like to win an Olympic gold medal? What's the feeling like as you cross the line?
A mixture of emotions, really. It's disbelief, it's relief that it's all worked out, but above all, it's just the sheer exhilaration that you've achieved something you've always dreamt of.
And how long does that high last for? Does it stay with you?
It stays with you I think for your life, really. I can still look back on, even Athens 4 years ago. I can look back on Athens, and you just instantly you can return to that feeling of what it was like when you crossed the line, and the adrenaline and the excitement and the emotion, and you can watch the video as well. That always does the trick.
And just give people an idea of how much work goes into it, or does it just come naturally?
It doesn't come naturally. You do have to really put a lot of effort into it, and the training is hard. It's monotonous, painful.
Is it ever boring?
It can be boring, yeah. If you're doing long road rides and if the weather's bad, but ultimately it's important, and it's something that's going to hopefully win you a gold medal, and you have to put the hours in if you want to get the success at the end.
Do you replay your races in your mind before you go to sleep at night? Do you go round and round and round the track?
No, you try not to. If before you sleep at night, if you start thinking about that, then it's going to get you all hyped up. So we do a lot of visualization.
It's getting louder.
Yeah, it's almost finished now. Yeah, no, it's you certainly watch videos before racing, but not before you go to sleep.
How do you deal with the pressure? Because there must be a lot of it.
The pressure is a big part of it, and you have to be able to deal with everything else. It's not just about your physical effort; it's about how you deal with things mentally. And I always try and focus purely on the process, the performance, and not worrying about what could go wrong and things that are out with your control.
How did you get into cycling in the first place? What inspired you?
I got into cycling through BMX, really, and I got into BMX.
You're a BMX rider?
Yeah, that's right. When I started when I was 7, and I watched the film E.T., and I saw the guys in the BMXs and that kind of inspired me to get into BMX. And then from BMX, I tried all different aspects of the sport, and I ended up with track cycling.
You almost broke the world record for the kilometre. How many thousandths of a second did you miss it by?
5 thousandths of a second it was, which works out about a millimetre, or 1.5 millimetres at the end of the 1,000 metres, so not a lot in it, really.
What did that feel like? That was was it 2007?
2007. At the time,
Bolivia, at altitude.
I mean, at the time, all I was worrying about was just the pain and the lack of oxygen. I wasn't really thinking about anything apart from that, but it certainly hurt a lot more when I didn't get the record than it would have done if I had got the record.
What's there still to carry on for? 4 golds, a silver.
Yeah, well, the home Olympics, having London 2012 on the horizon, that's the big target for everybody in Britain, and you couldn't ask for more than that.
Do you think it's going to be a major success, or do you fear it might be a disappointment?
It'll be a massive success. It's going to be fantastic. There's going to be so much support for it, and when people see the Olympic Games on their doorstep, they'll realise what it's all about.
How has your life changed since you became this sort of huge national figure at the Beijing Olympics?
I've become a lot busier. I've just had so much on my plate, and people seem to recognise me, a lot of the places I go, and it's just a whole new life, and it's taken a while to get used to it, but it's been great fun.
How do you cope with the fame? We've talked about pressure a bit. How do you cope with the fame? Everyone recognising you, or a lot of people recognising you?
Everybody's been really nice and everybody's been really positive, so it's not difficult to deal with that part. But what is difficult is realising that you don't really have a private life anymore. Everywhere you go, people sort of might stare at you. They might not know who you are, but they'll recognise your face and they'll be looking and trying to work out who you are, and that's a bit odd.
And look, we've got well under a minute to go. How are you dealing with the pressure of a 5-minute interview?
It's quite a pressure. There's no editing, no cutting, so I've got to get it right first time. But
are you first and foremost a proud Scot or a proud Brit?
I'm both. I'm very proud to be Scottish, and I'm also proud to be British, and I get the chance to compete at the Commonwealth Games for Scotland and compete at the Olympic Games for Britain.
I've got to ask you, red hair or blonde hair? It looks a bit of both to me.
If it looks red, it's just the light, you know. Nothing wrong with being ginger, you know.
Of course not,
obviously.
of course not. Do people ever race you? Do you race out? Do you go in the streets? Do you cycle in the streets? And do people try and take your...
If you're out training on the road, you might get guys that are coming up behind you and chasing you down, but that's just... People do that with anybody, it doesn't matter who you are.
Can you eat whatever you want?
Within reason, but, you know, you do have a fairly balanced diet.
What do you eat for breakfast today?
Bran flakes.
And biggest remaining ambition, 2 seconds.
London 2012 to win 3 goals.
It's all up. Oh, hang on.
There we go. In the nick of time.
Helped it along.
Yes.
Really good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Hope we didn't distract the cyclists too much.